Hello Bitzbox, it's Ingrid here and I'm back again with another one of my Total Noob videos. Today I'm going to be finally finishing off the 2 miniatures that I've been working on for the whole of this series. And I'm going to be basing them. So this is something I've never done before. I'm really excited to have a go. I'm going to be using some texture paints and some other bits to finish those off. So first of all, big thank you, massive shout out to all of our Patreons. If you want to know more about our Patreon, the link is in the box down below. So let's get started and see how we go. Okay, so I'm still working on these 2 miniatures that I had before. I finished off that one in the last video. So I'm going to do 2 different basing ideas. The first one I'm going to start with this texture paint. I've never used texture paint before, so I'm quite excited actually. I really like seeing people's creative bases, and obviously this is going to be super basic because it's the first time first time that I've ever done this, but yeah, I love seeing people's really creative ones. So I'm going to have a go with texture paint on this plague bearer. And then I'm going to do, I've got a bit of sand for the other one. I'm going to use PVA glue and some stones. But we'll start with this guy first. Actually, I think I did have an idea that I was going to put a little skull on him. Tiny little skull. And I think I'll need to super glue that on, so I will do that first. Because yeah, it's nice to have a skull on the base. I've just got super glue. I'm going to try as hard as I can not to get this on my fingers. Oh, that's just got attached. Okay, I'm getting it everywhere. All over the skull, but it's not sticking. Okay, let me try again. That's a bit better. Sort of stick. I don't really use super glue much. I've not built anything yet. That actually might be my next idea for a video. Right, that's not a bad place to stick him. So I'll pop that skull right by his foot. I think I'll only do 1. Yeah, I'll leave it at 1. I'll just let that dry a little bit in place, and then I'll come back and start with this texture paint. Okay, so that didn't take very long to dry at all. That's dried there. And now I'm going to have a go with this Still and Mud Citadel texture paint. I've got a little tool to get it out. I'm not going to use much for now. I'm just going to see what it's like first. because I've made the mistake of putting too much on with other paints. Okay, so it really just feels like you've just put a load of sand in with the paint. It's thicker than, obviously, thicker than paint. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid his feet for now. But it might end up going on a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, there's other basing techniques that I really want to have a go at. One is the crackle paint. That looks awesome. I've seen people do really cool stuff with that, and it doesn't look all that hard to use. Yeah, there's loads of stuff I want to do actually, but one thing at a time. So I've put quite, I don't know, it's not too thick, it's thickish amount on. More than I would definitely load my normal brush with, but I'm trying to just get a bit on and then spread it around. I'm going to sort of, oh, that's gone quite a lot on the skull, that's okay. I'm going to sort of encase the skull in some dirt. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having these ones finished, these miniatures, and then I'm going to have a go at doing some start to finish, like properly building it as well, because I've not built anything yet, and that's definitely something I need to try. I feel like that's going to be quite challenging. I don't know what I'm doing with putting stuff together, because Craig built me these, so that's something I can do. If you have any ideas of something you want me to attempt, you can pop them in the comments and I'll certainly consider them, as long as they're not too difficult. Nearly covered the whole base now actually. Now I'm aware this is going to take quite a long time to dry. It's quite hard to get it in the middle. So I've got a fair bit around these feet, just fill in the back a little bit. Ooh. Looks like he's walking through some sort of swamp. It's quite cool. I've seen a lot of videos of people using like just stuff from the garden to make bases as well. Someone used dried herbs in one of their videos, which was a good idea for using as leaves. So it's around the feet. I just need to get it a little bit better around this one. I don't want to get it too much on there. So I've sort of made it look like it's, made it look like it's a bit trodden in. Right, I've got to leave that to dry, so that will probably take a while. I'll move on to my other base. Right, so moving on to my Stormcast Eternal Liberator. I've got some rocks that I'm just going to pick out a few. I'm not really sure how I want to do this. Whether I might just sort of pick a few bigger ones and then glue them on. Yeah, I might put a couple around the front and a couple around the back. I'll do those ones first. Okay. So yeah, hopefully these will stay on. The skull seems to be staying on fine, so I will say it's very fiddly. Oh dear. Yeah. They stuck to my finger instead. I will take them off so they don't stick permanently to my finger. I might change my tactic actually, put a little bit on the base and then stick it on there. That's probably going to work better. I'll do that instead. Don't know, I might... I can't decide. I'll put another one there. Yeah, just sort of making it up as I go along. I haven't decided beforehand where I'm going to stick these. Just try and pick out some of the bigger ones. That's a good one. Right, I'm going to put them around the back. Oh, that is too much super glue, but that's okay. It's going to dry and then get covered in PVA anyway. We'll see. I've got a few around there. I'll put a couple over here as well because it looks a bit empty. Although it will be filled in with other stuff in a minute. I'm wondering whether just a tiny little one could go in there. I found the right one. Okay, I'm going to call them, I think that's enough. I don't want to go too overboard because I don't know how it's going to look after putting the sand on, so I've got some sand here to put on. So I'll see how that goes. Right, those rocks have all dried to the base, so I've got some PVA glue I'm just going to glue the whole base and then dunk it in this brown sand. It's not what it says on the front, obviously it's not grass. Yeah, so I'm going to dunk it in there. So I'm going to put some on this palette and then use this little brush. I think I'll just go around these rocks. I've definitely put way too much glue down there. That all sort of tips out. So I'm just painting the whole base with this, and then yeah, I'll dip it in that pot and tip out the excess, and then afterwards I'm gonna obviously paint them, but they'll have to dry first. I've had a little look at some videos doing painting their bases and then dry brushing them, and they look really cool. So I think I'll definitely do that on the texture paint one. I'll have a go anyway. I've been watching Craig and Katie's Hobby Schools videos, and they did one on dry brushing. So if you want to have a look at some good dry brushing, there's one there. So I'll give that a go once these are all dry. Had loads of fun doing an Age of Sigmar game. That was awesome. I'm trying not to get this on the bottom of his little cloak there. Yeah, I obviously used my Stormcast Eternal, well, Craig's Stormcast Eternal army. I used it for that game, and that was really good. I enjoyed playing with a dragon. It's definitely worth a watch if you haven't already seen it. Hopefully we'll do some more games. Oh, that's gone quite all over that rock. So I've covered that entire base. Let's give it a go. I'm a bit nervous. Why am I nervous? Okay. Just go for it. That's not bad actually. Yeah. Might need some tidying around the edge. Well, that's not bad. I don't think any more is going to come off. Hopefully that'll just stay on there now. Oh, that looks good. I wasn't sure how natural it'd look with all those rocks, but it's actually worked out quite well. Yeah, pleased with that. I'll have a go at painting them once they're dry. Right, so those have both dried. I left them overnight to dry, and now, so while I was off camera I did prime this little skull, but I'm going to start with the Stormcast Eternal Liberator, and I'm just going to use this grey colour. It's called Eshin Grey. I'm going to go over the whole base with it, I think, and then do the rocks in a different colour afterwards, and probably dry brush then. So we'll take it one step at a time and do the first bit. Right. So I think I want quite a thin colour, coat of this colour. So I'm starting with a dark one because I think it would be more contrasting to lighten it up afterwards. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I can just tell it's really going to soak this colour in, so I probably will need quite a bit. There's a little bit on his feet. I don't know why I'm avoiding these rocks. I actually just said I would do them, so I'll just go over them. So yeah, I'm going to use dry brushing later on, which I've not tried before, but I have been watching Craig and Katie's Hobby School, and they've recently done a video on dry brushing, which is really cool. You should check it out. They dry brush some cool little miniatures there. Oh, and little bits of it. Oh, little bits come off. I guess there's just some loose bits. Okay. I'm getting some on the side of the base, but I think that I'll just go around that. Usually people do it in sort of a black, is what I've seen, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. Yeah, some little bits of the gravel are coming off, but I knew that was going to happen. Quite a few on this edge. I did just take off the side of it after, before it started drying, but some bits have just come loose since. It'd be nice to have these ones finished. I don't know what I'm going to start on next. If you have any requests of anything you want me to have a go at, let me know and I'll think about it if they're not too difficult. That's quite a dark grey, but I think it's going to look good with the highlights a bit later. Up until now I've really used very little paint at all. Not much on the brush. This is very different because you need loads, because it sort of just sinks in. Oh, there's another bit that's come off. Okay, I'm going to be a bit more careful around his feet. There is a loose bit just there. There we go. There's a bit of gravel on his shoe, but that's okay. Try not to paint on him, but it's not all that easy because some of the gravel is just built up there, but that's okay. Nearly getting there, nearly covered the whole of that bit now. And then I'll leave that one to dry afterwards and move on to the other. Hopefully it won't take too long to dry. Oh, okay. There's a bit of a wobbly bit there. That might decide to come off in the process of doing this side. Getting a bit stuck to the brush, so I'm trying to get them off so they don't stay there. Yep, that bit's finally decided to go. It's not left too much of a gap though, so that's okay. Quite a few more looser bits. Nearly covered the whole thing now though. Just need a little bit more. Yeah, some of the bits come loose. Okay, I'm nearly done. Very, very nearly done. It's just getting a little bit in there. I've managed to keep the miniature itself fairly clean, which is good. Okay. Right. Just a teensy bit more. Okay, as you can see, it's pretty messy around the side, but it's covered the whole thing now. Oh, apart from that little rock. Yeah. It's all got a coat on and some of it is still coming off. But that's okay. You can't really tell where the rocks are at the moment very well, so I'm going to highlight them afterwards. But they should show up better. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry and move on to my plague bearer. Right, so I'm going to start having a go at dry brushing this base. I've not tried this before. Hopefully it'll go okay. I've got what looks like an old makeup brush. And I'm using, first of all, this Bane Blade Brown. It's a bit dried up, but it should be okay. So I'm gonna get a bit on the brush and then take some off onto this tissue. I'm going to start off with really not much on the brush and see how it goes from there, because I can always add more. So let's give it a go. That showed up quite a bit actually. I think I might layer a couple of coats of this, not this paint, but onto this base of a different shade as well. So this is quite, well, one of the darker shades. So I might try adding another one, and then I'll do the little skull. So yeah, the brush is bone dry. There are some videos I've watched where people talk about using a little bit of water on it, but Craig recommended just trying it out with this first. For the first time I've done it, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's looking okay. It is quite dark. It's highlighted the back quite well because there's quite a bit of space there. It's a bit more hard to get it in the middle. I'm going to do another colour now. Let me see. I think I will try this bone colour, which is probably what I'll use for the skull afterwards, but I'm going to try dry brushing it. Just get what's left of the other one off the brush. Not very much. Right. Okay, this is less dry, so I'll just take it a bit off here. And as you can see, that's quite a lot on the brush. So I'll just brush a lot of it off. It's a bit of an odd one, this, because you have to have more than you need on the brush. You can't just start off with enough and then you've got to take it off. Oh, that looks cool. I like that. It's giving it sort of more of a rocky effect, but I like it. It works. And it's got those darker shades underneath of the original colour. Nice. this is a new technique and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. A little bit scared to go overboard, but so I'm just sort of, it's hard to get in the middle, that's the thing. He's bending over quite a bit. That's not bad actually. Yeah, I like that. I think I'll leave it as that for the moment. And then move on to the skull. Okay, so that's all done dry brushing. I'm going to move on to this little skull. I'm not going to use too much, but I'm using the same colour that I dry brushed with the Ushabti bone. That was the second layer of dry brushing that I did. I'm just going to mix it a little bit on the palette. Okay. To get a little bit on the base, but also here just sort of blends in with the dry brushing anyway. It's a great skull colour. Right, I think that's that sorted. Yeah, I'll just let that dry. Cool. Okay, so I've come back to my Stormcast Eternal Liberator, and I'm gonna give the rocks a little bit of a coat of a different colour. So I'm using this Dawnstone grey. So yeah, it's a little bit lighter if I compare it to the other one. So that was the one I did the first coat in. So it's a little bit lighter than that. And then I'm going to dry brush with this one, which is a lot lighter. So let's give it a go. Okay, I'll start with these ones at the front. Yeah, it's definitely made them show up better. And hopefully with a dry brush they'll look sort of, it's like a mix of blending them in but also not blending them in too much. Okay. Right, let's move around to these ones on the side. I'm going to be really pleased to have these finished. And I know there's a few people that have commented that they build stuff or paint stuff as they're watching me embarrass myself in these videos. So I hope that whatever you're painting will turn out well too. Okay, that's pretty much covered them. Obviously at the moment they look a lot lighter than the rest, so I'm going to let them dry, but then I'm going to do a bit of dry brushing on top to finish it off. Right, so those rocks have dried up, and I'm going to start with this Ulthuan grey. It's a really light grey. So I'm just going to dry brush that on. Take a bit from in there. Okay. Yeah, that's really, really light. That's fine. That's what I'm after. Oh, that's really made a massive difference to the rocks already. There's still bits coming off. I would say that's what's good about the texture paint, is that it doesn't flake off really at all. That's the only thing about using other bits, like sand and stuff. It does come off a bit. I don't know whether there's a way to stop that happening. Do you know what, that's the first part I've knocked over, but fortunately it's all dried up, so it's not done nothing. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do it a bit more lightly so that bits don't come off, but there's quite a few bits flying off. I have managed to get a little bit on the shield as well, but it's very, very slight. Can't really see it unless it's close up. That poor shield's been through the works. Starting to get quite a textured look. That's cool. Just gonna add a little bit more. Make sure there's nothing, new little bits on the brush. I ended up putting a little bit more on that bit than is on the other bits, but that's okay. I mean, terrain varies, so that's okay. I might just even it out by putting a little bit more on the rest. Just a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good actually. It's definitely made the rocks look more natural. That side perhaps a little bit too much dry brushing, maybe too much on the paintbrush. And quite a bit is chipped off of that bit as well, but all in all, it's pretty successful. I have actually got over here some little bits of grass. I might put a bit on this one. There's them side by side. I don't think this necessarily warrants a bit of grass. So I'll just grab one of these little tufts. Pop it on there. Might need a bit gluing, but I'll super glue that later. Okay, alright, so that's the finished products of quite a while's worth of painting and creating. I might just finish off these spaces, go around them in black perhaps, but for now, yeah, not bad. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, if you want to see anything specific, let me know. And yeah, I will be back in the next Total Noob video. Right, so I'm really pleased with how these have turned out. The texture paint was definitely my favourite to use. It didn't have any of the sort of excess coming off. But the other one looks pretty good as well. They both definitely have their merits and their uses. So yeah, I'll be trying out some other things in the future. But these two guys are done. Yay!
If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.